Yeah, there is one thing I think about. Do you know, I never believed in YouTube.
Right. Yep.
And when I left Kids TV,
Yep.
I had all the skills to set up a global brand for kids television on YouTube, and I never thought that was an avenue. I always thought New Zealand television is the avenue.
Yep.
And there's literally a group of people now, like Blippi and stuff, that are gazillionaires due to what they've global brands on YouTube and kids television.
Yeah, so you would have had, because you would have had all the skills.
Man, we were so far ahead of the game when Sticky TV was made, and the world was crying out for exactly those skills, and I didn't see the opportunity. Yeah.
Money, money, I just can't get enough.
With me today, I have broadcaster and Coast FM breakfast host Sam Wallace. Kia ora, Sam. Welcome to Money Talks.
Kia ora. Yeah, interesting. I'm here talking money on a month that I've made probably two of the most questionable money decisions of my life. So that's good.
That's a good start.
I feel like you've been sent to correct my spending.
Yeah. So what have you been splashing out on?
The first thing is I got a hair transplant.
Wow.
So you can say that's a business decision, and we can just we can argue over how much I can deduct off my taxes on that. But hopefully that keeps me relevant for longer. That's the argument. Yeah. And then I bought a daybed for $12,000 for the pool section of the house.
A daybed.
A daybed. It's a wonderful thing.
Is that like like you'd have it at a fancy hotel or something?
Or like a cruise boat or a resort or something like that, and it spins and it's like got a dome over it. Lovely thing.
And is that for day sleeping?
No. I think it's just for lounging around the pool.
Right. Yeah.
But completed. It was the final piece of the puzzle of the pool that I've just put in.
Yeah. Which also probably is a sinkhole for money.
Well, yes and no. Other than it was a part of a promotion.
Yeah.
So we got a huge. We made a lot of videos, but we got a huge investment in terms of capital to our property, which for a promotion is a great way to install a pool in your house.
Right. Yeah. And actually, that goes to, we can come back to talking about this, but in a modern media sort of career that you've got, there are a lot of different strings and threads to how to make it all work. And so one of the questions we've been asking is can I get you to describe what you do as if you're telling a child? What do your kids think you do? Yeah,
I talk between songs is what I do, and I try and engage audiences as much as possible, and that's across Coast, the radio station, which is an absolute joy to be a part of with two wonderful hosts. But I'm also very passionate in terms of video creation. I love making videos, and so I'm a filmmaker. I can tell my kids I'm a filmmaker, and I love doing that.
I mean, the modern media landscape, no question, it's pretty challenging. That you came through that traditional TV path, and that's kind of changed a lot, I guess.
Well, kind of traditional, kind of not too. I mean, I started in kids TV, which was 8 years at Sticky TV, which was a wonderful kind of inroad. I didn't really come through the kind of I studied journalism or anything like that, and kids TV is still probably the most wholesome and pleasing thing I did, because we wrote the show and we were trying to build happy places for children to come home to. But also on top of that, when you make kids TV, you have to do everything yourself. So you learn a lot of skills that have crossed over and helped me out a lot.
And that ran for quite a long time, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I was there for 8, and then there's probably another 8 years and around that.
Those shows really go into kids' brains. So you have a generation that comes, slightly younger generation that comes through with you, I guess.
And I still have that. I still have, wherever I go, people shout Sticky TV behind me. But I guess with that, there's a level of responsibility, to give kids a nice place to come home to, but also try and disguise wholesome content within fun. So otherwise you lose interest pretty quick. So it was a great training ground for me.
Yeah, look, I will come back to that, but I want to go right back if I can and just get some of your first memories of money in your life and the importance of money in the household. Do you remember it as a kid and around the family and all that?
Yeah, we were in an interesting situation with our family because my parents are roofers.
Right. Yeah.
So they've never invested. They built a business. They owned the premise that the business went out of, and then they sold it probably 10 years ago now. They did very well out of it.
Yeah.
But they were never smart with their money, even though they did really well. It was about building the business, it was about saving along the way. But with those savings, they never invested in stocks or shares. That's
back
something
into the
I'm trying to
business.
educate myself now. But I guess what I took from them is good decisions over a long time. Slow and steady wins the race. And take no chances. And I think in a lot of cases it can be a good thing, it can also be a bad thing, I think if they were guided correctly along their way, they'd be doing very, very well now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and it's precarious being in that kind of business. There's ups and downs. Did you notice that sort of stress as a kid? Did your parents sort of dealing with the businesses will have good times and bad times with cash flow and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, of course. But they worked hard and they were fortunate. You make your own luck, don't you?
Yeah.
So
it's a good business to be in.
Yeah, and with that, we kind of saw our lives kind of improve as well. We had a very humble home growing up, and then we moved to some nicer areas as we got older, as the business became more and more successful. And a big part of that was housing New Zealand contracts and stuff like that. So, tendering for contracts and all those types of things. So I was able to watch my parents grow a business.
Yeah.
And that was a wonderful lesson for me.
Yeah. So whereabouts were you growing up?
I grew up in where we started in Birkenhead and ended up in Milford, so in Auckland, yeah.
Yeah. And did you get pocket money and stuff, or did you have to work a part-time job?
I never worked for my dad's business. I mean, we did a little bit of stuff, I remember standing on top of a very high Revlon roof and was at Northcote there and going, God, this isn't for me. But I think for my parents as well, they kind of encouraged me to find my own path.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, this is a good business. It's not a lot of fun. But my story is, in terms of my first check, I did a Pizza Hut. I got chosen at a basketball game to spin a ball on my finger for a Pizza Hut commercial, and I got the job.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, I got handed $100 check. I was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
And then it kind of snowballed from there. So I got
So it was the first time on camera kind of thing?
Yeah. I was 11 years old.
Yep.
And then in a few years later, like 3 years later, I did bits and pieces in between that. I got an agent after I did that. And then in 1995, I landed a big role in a New Zealand film called The Ugly, where I played The Ugly, which was a serial killer that ended up murdering Jennifer Wood-Leland.
Wow.
So, and then it just grew from there. Another film in 2001, an American film that did pretty well. Roles in every New Zealand show under the sun. And then, the one that kind of changed it away from auditioning and getting a job and missing out and everything like that was Sticky TV, where there was a little bit more longevity in it.
Yep. So you weren't tempted to sort of, I mean, it's a tough life to go that full acting.
Well, I wasn't good enough, I don't think.
Well, you got to throw yourself massively into it.
Yeah. And I didn't like the ups and downs of it. So, to have a job or an opportunity like Kids TV, where it was going to be a bit more long term, that was kind of my path into it.
Yeah.
And then from there, after 8 years, I got picked up by Breakfast TV for Saturday Breakfast, which then flowed on to the main show because of ratings.
Yeah. So at school, what was going on? Were you thinking, did the thing with the basketball commercial change your attitude to what you were studying at school? Did you want to, you're choosing subjects with the media in mind? Or?
I guess it was an interesting one because I had the dream, right, to try and make it in a sector that I guess my parents looked at as it's either going to work or it's not.
Yeah.
So they were always, very big in pushing me into an education. So I studied science at Auckland University.
Yeah.
Because I guess they just came from a different time. They
didn't need to have a backstop with a
100%. Yeah, they were like, this is going to fail. So we got to work on a backup plan. But that backup plan ended up being really perfect because, and it's funny how the different elements of your life kind of come together to create other opportunities. But that weather degree then crossed over really, really nicely for weather at TVNZ. So as a guy that can present and write television,
but also understands all the stuff that's coming
the science. Yeah. So it was the perfect storm for that opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. That was TV through. I mean, I guess when I say the TV industry's changed a lot, you were on the screen right through that well, it's probably last of the golden age of when, people really knew who a TV personality was, because linear TV was still so dominant through those years. I mean, how did you find or deal with the fact that suddenly you're recognizable to people?
Yeah, it was a big step up. I mean, the kids' TV kind of prepped me for it in a smaller kind of way. So it was growing on top of that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad that we're kind of at the stage where we don't see as many New Zealand faces. Well, we're not engaging with our New Zealand shows as much as we should be, and I think something needs to change here. I don't know how we get more New Zealand faces.
I mean, it's much more splintered, isn't it? People have their niches that they're into.
Correct.
You obviously, what you're doing outside of radio, you're able to sort of tap into all of that. I mean, how have you adapted the way that you approach the media in the past few years?
For me, it's social media. Where I'm kind of applying those skills now, and that video creation that I learned from kids' TV. So for me, it's there's still there's loads of eyeballs and loads of opportunity. It's very diversified and it's a different place. But it's like anything in any career, you have to adapt and you have to adjust. And I look at some media personalities that in a splintered game, in a game that's getting thinner and thinner, they haven't diversified, they haven't worked on their social media or their ability to edit and shoot. And I kind of think more for you, like you have to create opportunities to keep yourself relevant.
I mean, I was thinking the other day about, almost the flip of that, someone like Tom Sainsbury, who is so well known through his Instagrams and
superstar.
But 20, 30 years ago, he'd have had a sketch show like McFarlane Gadsby or something that would have been running, it's 7:30 on Saturday night, and everyone would know from that. But I think people sort of still, he's becoming just as well known through the social media avenue.
100%. It's in many respects, it's really hard for TV to kind of compete with our phones. I mean, we've got this device where we can consume content in our phones 24/7. So that's kind of where the content that's where you need to live, because how do you compete with that?
So do you run yourself pretty much as a small business? And contracts in different areas?
100%. Yeah, so we've been making videos for Mercury Energy, which just recently, Tent Healthcare, Z Energy, the fuel company, My Food Bag, Woolworths. There's just a whole lot of different avenues in which we can create content and capture audiences. And now my wife's also doing that as well, which is really cool, because she's a mum at home with 3 kids. So the fact that she can create another stream of
relevant
income
content for people.
And just as another stream of income for us, as a mum at home who's still flat tack looking after 3 young kids.
It's interesting though, because people often mistake old forms of, you could say, well, linear TV, radio and print newspapers, got this sort of decline and have done for years. It doesn't mean the media's dying. I think when you look at the media, it's still such a huge business. I think it's just the kids coming in now have to look at it a different way.
100%. But it's evolved throughout time, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course.
I heard someone say the other day, we can't look at social media as social media. We just have to look at it as media because of the way it's being consumed. Whether that's, dare I say it, TikTok or Instagram. As soon as you hear TikTok, you turn your nose up. Everyone does, but it's engaged eyeballs. And there's a lot of people on there that you can just narrow your niche in terms of the information you want to get, whether it's your car content or if it's your exercise content or whatever you're interested in. You can really pinpoint the people that you want to watch and what they're talking about.
Sure. Jumping into some of your get into some of your money habits, but and your history with money. What's the poorest you've ever been?
The poorest I've ever been was two moments. The first, when I first started at Kids TV, I didn't pay tax, and I went and bought a flash car with WXSTI. And then I learned out how much money I need to put aside for tax. then when I left Kids TV, I'd actually been really smart when I left Kids TV because of that incident with the car. I was like, right, I really need to make a plan here, and I actually walked away from Kids TV with $100,000 in the bank. I saved everything after I learned that hard lesson, and that set us up, me and my wife, up really, really well, because then we had $100,000 deposit to then put into a house, and we bought a house before we had kids, and that was a great leg up. We got into a good area. We bought in Milford. But the poorest is probably now with 3 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's you've got assets, but your cash flow is
cash flow is really tough. And, like even the social media stuff a few years ago, we'd have my salary, and that would kind of, that was enough to get by on, and then we could save some money and take chunks out of our mortgage with the social media stuff. But now we just need even the social media stuff. It's a tough time right now.
Like your wife's at home, and the kids are sort of at the toughest age.
Maybe. I think when they get into teenagers,
I suppose,
they're going to be hungrier and need more branded clothing. So
that's true, but no, I've got.
How old are your kids?
Well, I've got a 20-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 15-year-old. If they can get their own jobs, then suddenly they're right. Because minimum wage isn't so bad if you're living at home, and they get a couple of $100 a week pocket money from doing the KFC or whatever like.
Yeah, right. You're giving me hope.
Yeah.
Food bill's just astronomical. I've got a 6-year-old that eats as much as me.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. The 2 boys, and they're always, they're weight training, bulking up.
Yeah, good.
Cutting, but
that's expensive.
That's a big.
How are they doing that? Because that's a vast. I mean, I spend a fortune on my trainer.
Yeah,
that's
well, they're just
cottage cheese.
They're actually kickboxers, so they follow a regime when they're going to fight. And
I don't see a lot of fight in you.
No, I wasn't expecting my boys to be kickboxers, but
how's that?
I played rugby and stuff, but I it wasn't first on our list, but they just had mates who
they've gravitated towards
ran it, and they've been good.
Do you go watch them fight and stuff?
Yep. Yeah, no,
it's wild.
It's been really good for them actually. Like you worry about kicks to the head and things, but they make the case around rugby
same thing
being just as bad, and everyone's sort of encouraging if you're playing rugby, but
the martial arts are great sports, so like discipline and technique and mastering
they won't do it forever, but it really has focused them and things, and got them really fit, and
I
think it's they're at Strike Force in New Linz, which is
fantastic.
So you're obviously you had a bit of like a fitness transformation.
I did.
A couple of years ago. Are you still living on the that sort of diet regime and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I live in a deficit. Yeah, makes me grumpy.
Yeah.
I live on about 2,000.
I thought does your body not get used to it? I suppose it's supposed to get used to it a bit, but
you still you get better at achieving what you're trying to achieve. 2,300 calories, and it's amazing. What I've learned is it's amazing how little your body needs to kind of to get it to survive.
Yeah, that's right. In a modern diet, we just consume way too much calories.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, but you start to fine tune that diet, and you need really lean meats and a lot of food, and that's quite expensive as well.
Yeah, I bet. So I mean,
but a real priority for me and my family is sport and exercise.
Yeah,
because it's kind of instrumental in the way you feel, and I think if you feel good, you are good.
Yeah.
And exercise and that dedication towards it, and it is every day, about an hour every day, really flows into your mentality and your life and your strength. And people say it's a lot of time to spend doing that, but I kind of feel like you get every moment back in health and the way you feel. It's kind of my theory.
Yeah, that's great. You sort of almost answered this question, but are you a saver or a spender?
What's your take? What's your take?
You've answered it both ways. Actually. Now I think about it. You've told us.
Do you know, historically, I think I was. I think my parents set me up good habits in terms of you need to put away money and everything like that. It's just harder now.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think I surround really good money decisions with really bad money decisions.
Yeah.
So I'll make good decisions for a long time, then make a really stupid purchase.
Yeah.
Well, and then go, why do I do that? But in saying that, you need to have nice things as well.
Yeah. So, I guess you do the hard yards. It's a bit like the training. You do the hard yards so that you can indulge every now and then.
Yeah. And that's exactly how I run the training. I'm not a complete miserable bastard the whole time.
Yeah.
I'll be miserable for a time and then I'll, go on holiday and then I completely let my hair down. But for me, that's what it's all about. It's about then it becomes a treat. I think my philosophy on food, and I know this is not a food podcast, but it's about getting it right 90% of the time so you really can enjoy the stuff you do when you relax.
We also touched on this, I guess, but, maybe when you first got a paycheck and, the most indulgent purchase you've ever made?
Yeah, probably that first car.
Yeah.
And then I think
Sounds like cars are a passion.
I think that, yeah. Although I have learnt that I don't think I'll own another performance car again in my life, just because having a car with a warranty and a 7-year plan and, it's all that makes so much sense to me now. And electric cars, I'm a big fan of electric cars now, and just something practical that doesn't, I had an RS4, an Audi RS4, and every time that something broke, it was $5,000, and that wore really thin. My most luxurious purchase, a ridiculous purchase, was a Can-Am X3, which is a side-by-side off-road race car.
Right.
It is also the best thing I ever bought.
Right.
It was amazing. Me and my dad raced it for 4 or 5 years. I sold it just last year. It was the most fun I've ever had. Yeah.
So you're still off-road riding and racing?
Nah, not at the moment. This is a rare time in my life that I don't have a toy.
Yeah.
And that's just because of where I'm at with my kids and family.
Yeah.
At the
busy
moment, it's really busy. Young kids take up a lot of your time and they deserve it. And I love spending time with them. It's kind of more, it's not like I've been forced out of doing fun things. It's just, I really enjoy spending time with my kids.
Yeah. And it's amazing how fast it goes, I got to say. It doesn't feel like it at the time, maybe.
No, I can feel it already. Like they're at, my little girls, so it feels like a year ago, were, just born, and now they're going to school next year. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Do you buy lotto tickets?
No.
Do you imagine winning lotto still?
No.
So
it's never been a pipe dream like that. No, I think that once again comes back to what's installed in my parents. It's like you make good decisions over a long period of time.
Yep.
And that's where fortune comes. That's where.
Which is the kind of, like people want some secret money advice, and then you read about Warren Buffett and he just says, just start investing and keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's not sort of some magic trick. It's just a discipline. So
it's about not talking about it though. It's about doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
my KiwiSaver is going really good, but I think the problem is you can't use that.
Yeah.
So it would be really nice to find another, to find money to put into another account so that you could grow money on the side.
Yeah.
But it's just really hard to find.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Especially, like this phase of life that you're in,
Yeah.
I can imagine. But are you someone who's, do you have a sharesies and all that sort of stuff? Or
My wife does.
Yeah.
I don't know how much is in it. I
don't like to ask.
It's probably a fortune. That's
She'll
probably where all the
surprise you
money's
one day. Yeah.
It's going where all the money's going. Yeah, we have a little dabble. I bought the only dabble I've had into shares. I bought Rua Bioscience shares, which is a marijuana company, because I got a hot tip from a guy that was in the industry that these were going to explode. And they literally exploded. They're worth nothing.
Yeah, we've written about it's been a debacle the way that the New Zealand industries, like the legal marijuana that people get is being imported from Canada and Australia, and
we should be using our own. Yeah, it's an interesting. I'm half to blame here because I remember I bought the shares and then I voted against legalizing cannabis. So I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an indication where I should be putting into something like Milford Asset and just letting other people make the decisions for me because I'm useless at it.
But I think people do find, there's that time in life when the kids are a certain age where it's all going back into the house, into the family.
Correct.
You just have to.
Well, it's at the moment it's just about not going backwards, isn't it?
Yeah. If you've got the KiwiSaver ticking over and you're paying off the mortgage, then you sort of relax and go, well, the rest of it, I'm just going to enjoy life. And
although the hair transplant didn't help, I took that money out of the tax account.
Right. Yeah.
So that will come and haunt me at some point.
Yeah, it probably is. It'd be an interesting one for the accountants. It's definitely like a career.
It's 100%
it's like
deductible.
I don't know if
it's 100% deductible.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it'll be passed on to my accountant as.
Yeah.
He might say something different.
What's the best financial advice you think you've ever received?
I don't think I've taken on a lot of financial advice. It's been modelled.
Yeah.
It's been modelled by my parents, and I come back to it. It's slow and steady. They haven't chanced a lot of people with looking after their money, but I think good property decisions has been instrumental in that.
Yeah.
I've seen them step their way up the property ladder with really good decisions, and I think I've followed them in that I really take my time with property decisions. We were forced to do it. 5 years ago when we had the twins.
Yeah.
But I was really careful to make sure that we made the money when we buy, not when we sell.
Yeah.
Because
So that was just you needed to expand.
we needed to
fit them
expand.
in.
Yeah, totally. But
Yeah.
really, I think we got that right once again. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could go back in time, is the one thing you'd change about the way you've run your career or your money habits?
Yeah, there is one thing I think about. Do you know, I never believed in YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
And when I left Kids TV, I had all the skills to set up a global brand for kids television on YouTube, and I never thought that was an avenue. I always thought New Zealand television is the avenue.
Yep.
And there's literally a group of people now, like Blippy and stuff, that are gazillionaires due to what they've global brands on YouTube and kids television.
Yeah, so you would have had, because you would have had all the skills.
Man, we were so far ahead of the game when Sticky TV was made, and the world was crying out for exactly those skills, and I didn't see the opportunity. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard like that. I mean, I'm in business and finance. You know, I've written about it, being pitched zero shares before they listed. I wrote about Bitcoin when it was.
Have you got Bitcoin?
No, but I wrote about it first.
You have to have Bitcoin.
2013, I wrote about it, and it went through because it had gone through US $100, and that was notable.
What was it at last week? 120 or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
And like, there's even people talking about Bitcoin going into it'll be worth $1 million a share.
Yeah.
So it's not too late.
Yeah, it's not too late.
I'll
maybe.
do it if you do.
Although I'll always regret, I'll always be thinking I could have had it for $100.
Far out.
Yeah, and I would have only needed to buy about $1,000 worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a big goal setter?
No, I need to work on that, I think. Yeah.
But you achieve quite a lot. I mean, it's clear you've got a lot going on. Is it more about just...
I just follow my passions, really.
Yeah.
But I'm a hard worker. Like, I really grind. And I think one thing I've done really well is I like to do well for people. I like to achieve things for people. So, within that video space, when I almost like when I hand people a video, I say, this is what I've made for you. I like watching them watch it to gauge how much enjoyment. I think at the core of it, I just enjoy what I do. Yeah. Which makes it easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sort of answers the next one in a way, but how much is making money important to you, and how much is it a byproduct of success of, doing the things that you love doing?
I love making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be nice to see more of it being captured.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a product of the situation. I think I find this country a little bit frustrating at the moment where, we are effectively a family where my wife is contributing. I'm working 2 jobs in terms of that video aspect and that radio job as well. I'm well paid. And the fact that we are struggling to get ahead shows how hard it is out there. And I find that that's going to be something that holds New Zealand back. I mean, I was away with my wife and her family over the weekend, and both of her brothers, one works in railway tracks, one works in agriculture. They've all moved to Australia. They're over there and like, how do we come back?
Yeah.
How do we
come
come back?
Wages are just so much higher.
Yeah. And they're getting ahead, you know, and we have to create a country where that if you're working, you are succeeding.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. And I think it's also the problem with some of the mentality around the younger people where they are like, what's the motivation? When you need $100,000 or $200,000 to buy a house, just to put the deposit down, and then you have to skimp and save, and the chances of getting ahead or buying a house is really unlikely.
Yeah.
I think it's super demotivating for everyone.
Yeah, so they sort of drop out or, just go, this is too hard.
This is too hard.
Yeah.
I want to go traveling, or, they look for easier opportunities, and I think that's a real shame. I have no idea how to correct that.
Yeah.
That's probably not a question for me.
Well, the next question is that sort of, but I'll give you can frame it different ways.
Yeah.
But like we like to ask people, if we could make you Prime Minister for a day, what areas then would you really want to focus on to try and address some of those issues and address economic inequality? It's kind of like I guess if we made you dictator for a day.
We have to start thinking globally. And I think that this government is working pretty hard on that. Bigger opportunities. I think we need to do more to reward people that work. Don't punish them. I don't really believe in taxing people too much when they're working their asses off.
Yeah.
And I think we have to do everything we can to encourage people to work.
Yeah.
I think our benefit system is a little bit liberal, and you hear so many stories of people that there's no incentive for them to go to work because it can be too prosperous the other way. But in saying that, and this is what makes politics so hard, is that people that genuinely need to be supported in our society need to be supported. And I think it's just about accuracy. But I think, man, we're a small country at the bottom of the world.
Yeah.
And, it's hard. It's hard even to make those changes, which is why I'm so glad it's not me having to make those decisions.
But you've stayed you're stuck with New Zealand. You could have gone to Australia.
Good enough.
You're too passionate.
No, because I built this tiny little profile up, and I'm still trying to leverage it. So
right. Yeah.
If I go over there, I'm a nobody, mate.
I suppose. Yeah.
But in saying that, like the filming and the creation side of it. Maybe.
Yeah. The content creation.
But
yeah. Well, so on that, just to finish up, what's going on for you other than you've got the radio gig, which you're well known for, but what other things you got going on coming up that you'd be interested to give a plug?
I have. It's like I'm setting up a business at the moment with my wife and my trainer. His name's Dann, and it's called The Body Blueprint. And what we've done is, and this is my first move into, I guess, a proper business.
Right, yeah. So you've got to get a bit more serious about that sort of financial side of it.
Yeah, what we've done is we're old, me and my wife, I'm nearly 45.
Yep.
And we have 3 young kids, but we've been able to maintain the shape of our bodies and get in the best shape of our lives through this whole process by making a few decisions. So we've developed what's called the Body Blueprint, and it's an exercise training app which is directly targeted at parents with really busy lives. And that is about the most efficient way to get into shape. Actually, it's more than get in shape. It's about transforming your shape, because I think so many people are at the gym slogging it out and they see no change.
Yeah.
And we do a few things differently from other exercise apps in terms of its efficiency. And we do that with a lot of people, we know the world is moving to strength training, but I think a lot of people are caught up on free weights and not utilizing machines in the gym.
Yeah.
And machines are the most efficient way to get in shape. It's about lifting absolute maximums, but small times at the gym. So intensity high, volume low. And that's been a real game changer for us with kids. It means we're not tired for kids, but our bodies have really responded to it over the last couple of years.
So short, sharp every day.
Every single day, but also, back to where we started with this in terms of how miserable my life is in terms of calories.
Yeah.
There's some really simple things you can do with your diet to cut the calories out, the unnecessary calories, and really make a change in your life. So we got a business and we're launching in November. We've made a couple of the launch videos. So we're really passionate about kind of seeing people change their lives for the better in terms of their health. And this is something we're pretty excited about.
Fantastic. Well, wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us, Sam.
Hey, it's been lovely to chat. I always love a money chat. Yeah.
Good one.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Money Talks. If you want to get in touch, drop me a line at liam.dann@nzherald.co.nz. And you can read more from me at nzherald.co.nz. Follow Money Talks on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts, with new episodes available every Thursday. And if you are new to the podcast, you can check out our back catalogue with over 60 guests from across our seasons.